Good morning team. What is PCI DSS? The fundamentals one. Today we will try to discuss about all the details, what's the basics, what are the type of assessments, what is cardholders data, and the interview 3 questions which is mandated to ask. So let's start with the basics one. What is PCI? So PCI is a payment card industry. It is a global information security standard designed to ensure that companies that process, store or transmit credit card information maintain a secure environment. Whenever there is a question of PCI, always use whether companies are storing, processing or transmitting the credit card details informations to maintain a secure environment. All those vendors or organizations are applicable for PCI. Okay, or we can also say that those vendors who is storing, processing or transmitting the transactional details, that also supposed to comply with the PCI. So the purpose of PCI is to protect the cardholders data and reduce the card frauds by applying or complying the security best practices. It is actually created by Visa, Master, American, Discover, JCB and all. Okay, but the question is that what is the definition of the cardholders data? Cardholders data, if I am the owner of a card or you are owner of a card, then you will be treated as a cardholder. So according to the PCI glossaries, cardholder data includes the PAN number. It is a permanent account number having 14 to 16 digits on the front of the card, cardholder's name, expiry date of the card and service code. If PAN is present, it is considered the cardholder's data even if other fields are not. So this point number 1, PAN details is very mandatory. Okay, great. What data is considered as cardholder's data? Because multiple informations involved if we talk about the cardholder's information. So what exactly the data who is considered as cardholder's data? So if any organization is processing only PAN, then it is considered as cardholder's data. Okay. If an organization is processing only cardholder name and they they uses the PAN also, then it is considered as cardholder data. Yes, when with PAN. Expiry date, yes with PAN. Or service code, yes with PAN. So we had observed one thing, the PAN details is mandatory because these is the basic informations. Okay, what if a vendor is processing only CVV details, then uh, no cardholders data would be treated as a processing one. Magnetic stripe or chip data, no cardholders data would be treated. If a company or vendor is storing the PIN details of customers, then no CST would be considered. But these data, these last 3 data would be considered as a high sensitive authentication data. Great. So the question is, what is the minimum data requirement to initiate a PCI compliance? Okay, so to begin the PCI compliance, you must identify any secure environment that handles payment card data. Here are the summary of PCI and system information elements required to get started. So if a vendor is processing only cardholders data, right, then it is always in PCI scope. If a vendor is processing only cardholder's name, then no PCI is required. But if they processing cardholder's name with PAN number, right, on that vendor PCI is applicable. If a vendor is processing the expiry date and if stored with the PAN, then applicable for PCI one, and same for service code as well. If vendor is processing with PAN, then PCI is applicable. Okay, what happen if vendor is processing the highly sensitive information like CVV, PIN and all, expiry date? So for this For this, PCI is clearly applicable because if we check about the definition of the PCI 1, the minimum requirement to comply with PCI is that organization to process, store and transfer the cardholder's data or sensitive data. Example, if organization process only CVV, no PAN details as well, PCI is applicable because CVV comes under SAD. See table above with which data considered as CSD and SAD. Great. So, if I summarize the PCI DSS applicability, if vendor is processing the SAD data or cardholders data, then PCI is applicable. Very straightforward. You can comment if still you have any confusion or support required. Okay, now it's time for the types of assessment. So, type of assessment considered. Number one is SAQ. SAQ means this is the initial phase of the PCI DSS compliance where merchant process fewer transactions, typically under 6 millions per year per brand. Do not store cardholders data for most SAQ types or stored in a limited compliant manner. Examples are merchant accepting payments via e-commerce POS systems, virtual terminals or card readers into different SAQ. But the thing is that what is SAQ? So SAQ is this is a self-assessment questionnaire. SAQ in PCI DSS contains a series of yes or no questions designed to assess your compliance with PCI DSS requirements, but the exact question vary depending on SAQ you are eligible for. SAQ is a very brief, only questions asked by PCI in yes or no because they are processing very minimum data. So that is the reason comes under the SAQ. Okay, let's see what are the types of questions involved in SAQ, right? For example, requirement number one is a firewall. So the question looks like, okay, are firewall and router configured reviewed? Requirement number two about the secure configuration. So this would be the questions under SAQ, that okay, are all default password changes before installing the systems? This would be the question number three. Is cardholders data stored only when required for legal, regulatory or business needs? Question number four would be related to encryption, AV, secure systems, restricted access, authentications, physical access, logging, testing, policies. You may pause the video if I am going very fast, and you can watch it again if you think that I am going really in a catching speed. Okay. Question number two would be on-site assessment by QSA. Okay. So this is required for the level number 1, merchant level 1 and 2 service providers, and this is performed by the qualified security assessor who is certified by PCI SSC. Okay, after this, report on compliance with full audit report and attestation of compliance with formal statement of compliance will be required. Okay, QSA verifies technical controls includes firewall configurations, access control mechanisms, encryptions, logging and monitoring, patch management, AVs, malwares, and the method includes system configurations reviews, log reviews, vulnerabilities scans, and PTs, network traffic analysis. Okay, what would be the documentation review? So it verifies the existence and effectiveness of security policies and procedures, incident response plans, risk assessments, change management records, and training documents. Okay. Assessment findings and reports. It completes the reports on compliance ROC. ROC is a document having 12 mandatory PCI requirements. This document actually saying whether 12 PCI DSS requirements met or not. It includes the findings and evidences. AOC is a final statement signed by both parties, organization and QS. Means attestation of compliance is a kind of certificate. Okay, remediation, you can add this. Okay, next is ROC. What is ROC? ROC is a report on compliance. It is a detailed report that documents the result of a PCI DSS assessment. It is created by QSA by an internal auditor if permitted for organization that processes, store or transmit large volume of a cardholders data. The purpose of ROC provides a comprehensive review of how well an organization complies with all the applicable PCI requirements. It serves a formal evidence of compliance. Okay, what are the components of a ROC? Number one is the executive summary. Executive summary involves the description of the environments like network locations, systems. It involves the scope of the assessments, and assessment findings would be detailed responses to each PCI DSS requirements and evidences and methods used for interviews, observation and system testings. Compensating controls, this report includes like explanation for any alternative controls used, conclusions whether organization is compliant or non-compliant. Great. Who needs ROC? So level 1 merchant where they process 6 million transactions per year, they would require the ROC. Okay, service providers processing more than 3 lakhs transactions annually. Other low level merchants only need to complete SAQ, self-assessment questionnaires instead of a ROC. Great. What control includes in ROC? So as we know that 12 mandatory requirements comes under the PCI ones, where number one is install and maintaining a network firewall, right? Second one is apply secure configuration to system components, right? Next is how to protect stored cardholders data, encrypt transmission of a cardholder's data, protect systems and networks from malwares, develop and maintain secure systems and softwares, restrict access to cardholders data by business needs, identifying and access authentications, okay, restrict physical access to cardholders data, log and monitor all access, test security of systems and networks, support information security with policies and programs. Okay, these are the documents include these are the supporting documents to include when ROC is prepared. Network diagrams, data flow diagrams, asset inventory, scope worksheets, list of service providers, previous compliance reports. Next is AOC. AOC is a final certificate. So attestation of compliance is a formal declaration that an entity has undergone a PCI DSS assessments and met the applicable requirements. Key points about AOC. The purpose of AOC is to certify PCI DSS compliance submitted to banks, cards, brands or business partners. If a merchant handling card data, service providers processing, storing, transmitting card data, these are the certain criteria who can use the AOC. Okay. What does AOC includes? Okay, business informations about name or see AOC is a certificate only. So you can apply the logic. Okay, what would be the details mentioned for certificate? Just kind of thing. So business informations where organization name, address, contact persons. Assessment details where assessment methods AOC or ROC or SAQ would be mentioned. Scope of the assessments, compliance summary, description of any non-compliant items and PCI DSS version used, and signature of who would be the quality security assessors and executive officer attestations. AOC and ROC looks like very confusing. So let's have a discuss what's the difference between AOC and ROC. So AOC is an attestation of a compliance having 1 or 2 page summary and a declaration signed statement of compliance submitted to acquire bank or partners. While ROC is a more than 100 page detailed audit report, detailed evidences and control testing maintained for validations and regulatory reviews. Okay, what is the transactions level? For level 1, over 6 million Visa Master transactions annually across all channels, or any merchants that has suffered a data breach or is deemed level 1 by card brands. Validation is RSA by SAQ plus quarterly approved scan vendor scans. Level 2 comes under if a vendor is processing 1 million to 6 million transactions annually. The validation requirements would be SAQ, quarterly ASB scan, ROC may be required by the acquirer. Level number 3 comes under if a vendor is processing 20,000 transactions to 1 million e-commerce transactions annually. The PCI applicability would be SAQ plus quarterly ASB scans. Level number 4, fewer 20,000 e-commerce or up to 1 millions other transactions annually. So SAQ other dependence on environment plus approved scanning vendor would be required. Okay, next question is how to implement PCI DSS control. So guys, I had prepared a different separate checklist to implement the PCI DSS controls. I will put up the link of that implementation. You can go and have a watch, please. Coming to the next one. Okay, these are the few questions which are very confusing about the PCI ones. I am asking these questions to you guys. You can provide your answers on the comment box to ensure that to ensure that at least you understood the PCI DSS compliance. So the question number 1 is, if a vendor is developing the plastic cards, does PCI is applicable? So if you can check, this vendor is developing the plastic cards, but no transactional details or card details are processing here, as you can see. So does PCI is applicable if a vendor is developing the plastic cards? You can provide the answers and why. Next question is, does PCI DSS applicable for vendor who is printing the details in cards? Printing the details in cards like uh, the pen details, expiry, the CVV number, your names on the cards, like that. So does PCI is applicable for that vendor who is printing the details on the plastic cards? Great. Next question is, a courier vendor is delivering cards to customers processing PII information. Does PCI is applicable? Example, DTDC is generally providing the delivery courier services to SBI, for example, and you are the customer. So DTDC requires PII information that okay, this cards belongs to XYZ with certain contact numbers and address details. So PII processing in that case. So my question is, does DTDC require PCI to compliance or not? Okay, these questions looks like very confusing. That's why I thought I should mention here. You can provide your answer in the chat box. Okay, great. So guys, if you require the training on GRC, ISO 27001, TPRM, NIST, SOC 2 and also you can comment me, please. I would appreciate if you require one-on-one trainings, because these are the very highlighted GRC contents with management skills required with stakeholders stakeholders experience. So you can have training one-on-one if you require. So you can do the comments, or you can drop an email for me also. I will surely pick and respond back to you over your request. Great. So thank you so much. Yes, one more thing, apart from preparing these security frameworks, if you require the interview preparations or any guidance or the potential probable questions may ask in interview depends on the JD, you can also let me know by doing the comments. So please contact for the interview tricks also. So these are the things just I'm seeking from you. Thank you so much guys, have a nice day, and I hope these all videos are really helping you. Great, thank you so much.